Spurs fighting for survival in these Western Conference Finals.
Now, for the San Antonio Spurs, they have got to be a team that plays loose. This is the first time this year they have faced elimination, and the guy that has got to lead them has got to be David Robinson. He's got to come out of there with a lot of determination.
Houston, they've got to come out there, have their defense and their rebounding, key their fast break attack. They got to be relentless runners, play with passion to win by 20.
Avery Johnson allowed to go straight to the basket, and the Spurs take the lead. San Antonio, the best road team in the NBA during the regular season, 29-12 away from the Alamo Dome.
No movement, and when there's no movement, that's what gets Olajuwon in trouble, and he held the ball a long time to get started.
Terrible start for Houston. Great rebound for Rodman right off the bat.
For Johnson. Kenny Smith. And Dennis Rodman with a second board.
Clyde Drexler hit the opening three-pointer off the tap. That's Larry Bird style in the big Game 5 victory.
Rodman to the basket. Dennis Rodman gives San Antonio a 4-0 lead.
No offensive flow at Houston for all.
Drexler moving in, and fouled by David Robinson.
What's important for Houston is they stop people with the basketball. Dennis Rodman will make layups if he's unguarded. He was able to go from the top of the key right down the lane, so they've got to get the defensive attitude of stopping the basketball first.
Our officials for today's game: Hugh Hollins, Bill Oakes, Paul Mahalan. Olajuwon, jump hook. Olajuwon averaging 32.6 a game in the postseason.
That should have been the first play of the game. Not wait till you're behind 4-0.
Elliott spins, draws the foul before he got the shot away.
Rockets foul on 22.
Foul is on Clyde Drexler.
In the post, the two guys, Olajuwon, who has changed from Game 4, where Robinson had his best day. He's not faking with the ball. He's just attacking straight on.
Kenny Smith comes over to help with the double team and almost stripped it from Robinson.
But David Robinson's got the right body language. He's coming out of Olajuwon, and now he's got to be able to stay composed enough to get the ball in the air.
Avery Johnson and a steal by Hakeem. 3-on-1, 4-on-1 Rockets. We're tied at 4. Robinson.
That one needs to go all the way to the basket.
Drexler baseline, blocked by Elliott. Elliott going to keep it down the lane.
Now Drexler, he's really animated right now and excited. He wants to get off to a good start, but he cannot gamble with Sean Elliott. That's what turned Sean Elliott loose for that hoop.
You know it's a big game when Clyde Drexler to his knees on defense and still right back up into the play.
Olajuwon, open jumper.
Penetration will free up guys no matter how good they are. High pick and roll.
Del Negro. And Olajuwon with another rebound.
Shot clock at 10.
Olajuwon fall away, no, and Rodman with another rebound.
Hakeem was 19 for 30 in Game 5. Not nearly at that pace as we start tonight.
Elliott.
Well, he's gotten every defensive rebound, and I think he's like 3 for 5, so he's not in a bad shape.
Mario Ellie with a 3. Rockets by 3. Rodman down the lane. Tapped out of bounds. Saved by Olajuwon.
Incredible defensive play by Hakeem Olajuwon.
Drexler. And back we come the other way. 3-on-3. Bounce pass. Elliott fouled from behind, and the basket doesn't roll for him. He'll get 2 shots.
Houston foul at 25.
Clyde Drexler is not sharp tonight, and that's a bad sign for the Houston Rockets. This guy on his way to the Hall of Fame eventually. Tonight has not had a good look at the basket. Some double clutches. None of those have dropped.
Drexler 0 for 3 to start the game from the floor. Here's Sean Elliott.
Now let's remember this. It is early in the game. A guy like Drexler can have a big comeback. So I think he's too ready. He's got to calm down. He wants to do too much too quickly.
How can you be too ready for these games?
You know how you get that.
Greg Gumbel along with the Bickersons here at the Summit in Houston. Elliott with 1 out of 2. Rockets lead by 2. Just under 7.5 minutes to play here in the first period. And we get a timeout called by the Houston Rockets.
Changing defense.
Well, they tried to go back to the lob, and they'd gotten it in time before David Robinson read it. They get the turnover.
On the front, swing the ball to the high post and let the high post man feed.
Pick and roll. Shot clock at 10. Elliott, baseline. Swatted by Olajuwon. Saved by Johnson. And this belongs to San Antonio.
This is Karch Karai putting one down at the beach volleyball tour.
5 seconds on the shot clock. And Rodman will inbound.
Make him receive away from the basket.
Elliott. Nice shot by Sean Elliott.
Sean Elliott, if he can stay out of the game, represents a huge plus. Stay out of foul trouble represents a huge plus for San Antonio. In all of the games where they've struggled, he's been on the bench early.
Laurie kicks it back. Did Olajuwon save it? He did.
Both teams showing some nervous play here. Olajuwon now being guarded by
Drexler for 3. And here comes Del Negro.
Drexler 0 for 4 now. He's been shooting 75% in the first quarter of every game in this series.
Foul is on Mario Elie. Let's go back to Dennis Rodman on defense.
Rodman, who is normally overpowered by Olajuwon, does a good job. Gets him in the middle. The collapsing defense with 3 guys on him forces him to kick it out. The story, as always with Houston, are those jumpers going down from behind the line. The most prolific three-point shooting team in NBA history, the Houston Rockets.
The Rockets led the league with 21 and change attempted per game during the regular season. Rodman keeps it alive, snares the ball. New 24 for the Rockets.
David Robinson is yet to get a hoop. He's got to find a way to get involved. It's been 6 minutes, couple of shots, but nothing down.
Avery Johnson, and fouled by Kenny Smith. Kenny Smith got into foul trouble early in Game 5 2 nights ago in San Antonio and was not a factor in that victory.
As this series has gone back and forth, I was surprised to hear David Robinson tell us that he has to get used to playing at this level of play in the Western Conference Finals. This is the league's MVP.
But he's never been in the Western Conference Finals.
Avery Johnson kicks it back to David Robinson. And Robinson with his first basket of the night. It gives the Spurs a 2-point lead with 5.5 to play in the first.
David Robinson playing a fronting defense now on Hakeem.
Drexler looks back inside to Olajuwon. Back outside, Robert Horry for 3. Robert Horry starting at the power forward slot for the second straight night. And the object of that game is to have Dennis Rodman up guarding him at the perimeter. Another block by Hakeem. Kenny Smith Smith will go to the line.
Hakeem Olajuwon has the NBA record for most blocks in an NBA playoff game. Granted, the records for block shots were not kept when Russell and Chamberlain played, but 10 blocks in one game. He had 5 in the fourth quarter of Game 5.
Smith makes the first of 2.
Right now, he's effectively closed down the middle, and that's going to make the San Antonio Spurs a perimeter team. David Robinson made a mistake out high. He tried to gamble on a flying Kenny Smith in trying to get to that pass, and that turns Smith loose.
Kenny Smith now 36 for 40 from the free throw line in the postseason. 13-11, Houston by 2.
Houston has to be concerned about their hesitant offense.
Avery Johnson hits the jumper. 4 points for Avery Johnson to create another tie at 13. And a whistle up top.
Kenny Smith trying to rebound from the donut production in Game 5. Hard to have a worse line than that. 12 minutes, 0 points. Nothing but fouls.
Foul is on Avery Johnson. Mario Ellie out of the corner. Grabbed by Robinson. And travel violation on David Robinson. Let's go back down court at the other end a few moments ago.
You see Dennis Rodman come in and grab Kenny Smith at the end. The foul was made out high. Guess he was trying to make sure he didn't get hurt.
Well, those fines do add up. 4 minutes to play. Look at the pass for Drexler. Nice pass from Robert Horry.
Horry is the best passer on this team outside of Olajuwon. Of course, Rodman to the hoop.
Stripped from behind by Horry. 3-on-2. Ellie has to slow it down.
Great defense by both teams. No fast break opportunity.
Olajuwon back outside. Horry for 3. Chuck Person into the game now with the rebound.
The Rockets gunners are looking reluctant.
Elliott kicks it back to Johnson.
The Rocket defense is reacting very well to anything inside, but they don't get to Dennis Rodman in time. He's over the top for his second hoop.
Rodman has 4. We're tied at 15 as we come up on 3 minutes to play.
Now, Sean Elliott is dropping back in to make sure that Olajuwon can't come across the middle. That means Drexler is going to be open. They got to find him.
Clock, shot clock.
Horry down the lane, has to force it up, around and out. Olajuwon had the rebound and was fouled. Bill Walton, you mentioned that they looked a little hesitant on offense.
Yes, they're out there playing like they have in the games that they've lost, where they're questioning their own abilities, waiting for Hakeem to get it done. Back to Bob Hill's clipboard with the composed determination. When you play a big game like this, you let the magic of the moment, the excitement of the crowd make your body feel just perfect. But then you got to have that calm decision-making in the mind, the level of flat mind.
Olajuwon with 2 free throws. He has 8 points. The Rockets lead at 17-15.
Of this game right now really favors the Houston Rockets. They've been able to close down the middle with Olajuwon and get them to play half court.
Hakeem with his 3rd block. Ellie on the drive. And the Spurs will bring it back in a hurry.
Hakeem Olajuwon is as quick to the ball defensively as I've ever seen him play.
Rockets by 4.
And that's
team on Robinson.
And that's what your mental preparation for a game is quickness to the ball.
Rodman on the offensive glass, whistle blows. And a goaltend.
The art of rebounding displayed by Dennis Rodman. A nice little hip as he gets a position. Now when the ball comes up, he'll hip and get Ori underneath so he gets a chance, and then they touch the ball on the glass, and Rodman gets 6 points in the first quarter.
Rodman with 6 points and 6 rebounds.
But the way Rodman released and then got back. Drexler way off the mark again.
Rodman with 7 boards and a smile for the crowd. Avery Johnson. Avery Johnson had 20 points and 7 assists in the loss Tuesday night. He has come out and scored 6 already here in the first quarter.
Avery had the prayer tonight before the game for San Antonio. As all big games, fire and desire. No time for lame exits here tonight in Houston.
Olajuwon steps his way past Robinson. Rockets by 2. Robinson. 3-second violation.
Avery Johnson reads Kenny Smith very well, and Olajuwon, and just finger rolled that one in. And he's gotten himself off to a nice start. Dennis Rodman, he's into this game, and he's also into a little show.
He's relieved he didn't tip that one in the basket, but where's the defensive pressure? Why is not Ori over his back? Ori, with just 1 foul, doesn't want to pick any more silly ones up, but you just can't allow Rodman to sweep the boards all game long.
Sam Cassell off this Houston bench, and Hakeem throws it away. 3-on-2, Johnson, Rodman. Didn't fall for him. Ori with the rebound. Drexler, and Robinson kicks it out of bounds. Dennis Rodman running the floor tonight.
Rodman was in a perfect position to finish and just laid it off the glass a little bit too hard, but he's been very active, and when he's that way, Bob Hill has to be happy.
He's too far ahead of the ball on the break. Guys in the lanes have got to be behind the ball to create passing angles.
Sam Cassell fouled by Avery Johnson, and that's number 2 on AJ. And AJ going to come out of there right now in favor of Doc Rivers.
San Antonio was blown out in the first quarter on their home court in Game 5 by 14 points. They somehow learned from Game 4, where they had 24 offensive rebounds, to turn that positive into 24 turnovers in Game 5. They've got to get out of that trend.
Sam Cassell misses his first free throw. You'll recall Hannah Storm reported Sam Cassell with a bruised funny bone. Says he has no feeling in the little finger of his shooting hand. Cassell was a perfect 12 for 12 from the free throw line in Game 5.
Sam Cassell is a big moment player, and that one looked like it was shot out of a cannon, so we'll see if he can make some adjustment. Olajuwon gets his first breather. Charles Jones in.
Team played without a foul in the first quarter.
David Robinson fouled before he got that shot off. Foul is on Charles Jones just into the game. It's his first.
It's not a lot of time for David Robinson to get going, but at least that's the right idea. I mean, he has basically been a silent participant in this ball game to this point, and he's got to get into the ball game. Has 2 points, first chance at the free throw line.
But he's got his power forward back. In the history of big men in basketball, they play their best when you got that power forward guy there to cover your weak side. That's what makes Olajuwon's accomplishments this spring all the more remarkable.
David Robinson, as Sam Cassell casts off and comes up just short at the buzzer. Welcome back to the Summit in Houston. That is the Houston Rockets mascot, Turbo. And if you think this mascot business is an easy job, keep your eye on him. He's kind of swinging his way around to what should be a slam dunk, but that's the wrong side of the backboard.
Almost away. Clyde Drexler's shots were clanging up there. 1 for 6 in the first quarter.
You know, you have been on Clyde's case for a couple of nights now, and he took umbrage at what you said about
I am well aware of how great a player Clyde Drexler is. And he's the reason.
Robert Horry with a 3.
Clyde Drexler is held to a different standard of player than most of the other guys in this series.
Well, let's remember that it is a 48-minute game, and this is a guy that's had some explosive periods in his life, and off to a slow start doesn't mean that that's going to be the story for the game.
Doc Rivers casts off a long 3, almost tapped in. And a loose ball foul goes against the Houston Rockets.
Marielli picks up this foul, but it's Robert Horry, when he can get his feet set and looking at the top of the key. That seems to be his favorite spot for launching and making three-pointers, his second one.
Mario Ellie with his second personal. Houston has hit 3 threes, and Horry has 2 of them.
Horry's one of those players that needs to be involved, needs to feel as if he's the key to the team's success by good matchups defensively.
Robinson. Del Negro looking for a shot off the baseline. And Chucky Brown has his first rebound of the night.
J.R. Reed playing with very painful back spasms. Trainer John Anderson for the Spurs rubbing him down long before the game.
Now, if they want to get Drexler involved, as Sam Cassell is trying to work his way in, he's got the perfect matchup to do it right now. He's got Chuck Person guarding him. Person can't deal with him off the dribble. And let's see if Rudy Tomjanovich recognizes that and tries a way to find Clyde and get him going at the offensive end.
Doc Rivers, first foul. 10:50 to play in the first half. Rockets with the ball in a 3-point lead.
This is what I like, coming back to the king here.
Cassell on the move. Up ahead, Chuck Person on the move. And Doc Rivers found it.
That's embarrassing when you get a fast break dunk after a made basket.
26-23 Houston.
Horry being guarded by Del Negro, and they had the same problem whenever Chucky Brown is the entry guy. He doesn't drop the ball and he ends up taking the shot. That's what San Antonio wants.
Traveling violation on Chuck Person.
Cassell will get a wide open shot off Olajuwon's penetration. He'll pass this up, and he's using the adrenaline of the moment to get over the pain. He's feeling in that right elbow, but then very little defense in transition. Everybody looking for the cameras instead of matching up.
Olajuwon with the jumper. And Doc Rivers up ahead for J.R. Reed. Reed, jump hook in the lane. Follow, no good. Hakeem with the rebound. Drexler. Got the roll.
Doc Rivers gave him the extra dribble by hitting the ball and knocking it free to get him across the lane. But David Robinson is having a horrible start.
Here's Robinson on the power move. And he'll go to the line. The foul is on Hakeem Olajuwon. David Robinson at the line. Robinson with 4 points on 1 of 6 shooting from the field. He also has 4 rebounds. Look at those numbers. In his personal duo with Olajuwon, Hakeem 4 of 7 from the floor tonight. 10 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 blocked shots. 28-25, Houston by 3.
As the pressure got the Houston Rockets rattled in the second quarter and got San Antonio back in the game in game 2. They're going to try to go that way to see if they can't get control of this ball game.
Olajuwon.
He just took a guy who was 6 inches shorter and beat him with quickness. Hakeem, he ignores all the big men when he tries to improve his game. He watches videotape of all the guards and mimics their moves. Pick and roll for San Antonio has not hurt Houston yet.
Chuck Person for 3. And another rebound for Olajuwon. for the big guy.
The snatch.
Yeah, you may as well have been out there to grab that one. That excited you so much, but Olajuwon is in this game. David Robinson has yet to show up, and he's got to get into it.
Doc Rivers grabbed the ball, stepped on the line. Houston ball. That's 6th turnover for San Antonio.
The long jumper by Hakeem Doc Rivers lands on the end line with the rebound. Nothing he could do there.
Meanwhile, Charles Jones back on the floor here in place of Chucky Brown. Cassell for 3. Drexler has the rebound. Olajuwon travels. Hakeem says no.
You know what he told us? I have to go over and explain the move to him now, so they'll understand that I didn't travel. See, there's the explanation right now. You got to remember, I'm quicker than most centers.
I think Hakeem Olajuwon, along with Michael Drexler, had the best footwork of any player in the NBA.
Michael Drexler.
Michael Jordan. Excuse me.
I know, you got Drexler on the break.
Shot clock is at 8. Del Negro got to make something happen. Nice pass to J.R. Reed. Vinny Del Negro with the big assist, and the Rockets' lead is down to 3. As we come up on 7.5 to play in the first half, and another turnover by the Rockets. Del Negro on the drive. Fouled by Charles Jones.
Vinny Del Negro hasn't been able to get into the game, but the pick and roll got him started. He's been trying to find ways to make something happen, and he comes into the middle and throws a great pass to J.R. Reed to give him an easy hoop. And this is where Del Negro likes to be, out on the wing, carrying the ball to the bucket where he can see the defense.
He was big scorer here in games 3 and 4, 19 apiece in those games. Goes back home for game 5s and a quiet 8 after a donut in the first half.
We are tied at 30.
And Rodman's back in the game. Bob Hill going big minutes, and Rodman matched up with Hakeem, trying to keep Robinson out of foul trouble.
Olajuwon spins, goes to the baseline, and foul is on Rodman.
This is not a good matchup for Dennis Rodman. I mean, Olajuwon can turn and jump over him at any time, and Rodman is going to try to put his body on him, his hands do whatever, but he's not going to be able to stop the big cat from getting shots off.
Bob Hill going with very short substitutions in this game. Good ball movement, Houston.
Sal threw it away.
The Rockets beat themselves with turnovers in game 4 here, and they've made a couple to let the San Antonio Spurs back in it.
Spurs going for the lead here. Avery Johnson across the lane, kicks it back. David Robinson. And the Spurs lead it by 2. And Bill Oates blows a whistle.
Rodman.
Looks like the foul is on Dennis Rodman, his 2nd of the game. We'll take timeout with 6:50 to play.
I'm here with Greg Popovich, the general manager of the San Antonio Spurs. Greg, Bob Hill has been criticized for benching Dennis Rodman and not starting him. Do you feel that Dennis should have started the game, and should the chemistry have been disrupted?
Well, early in the season, I sat down with the coaches and the players, and together we decided what philosophy and standards we'd run the team by. And we've made 50, 100 decisions similar to that one. And that's why we've stuck together and have the chemistry we have. Without that, we'd have no basketball team.
Was this the right time to be doing that, though?
We've got to be consistent with what we do because the players demand it.
Will Dennis be back next year?
This is way too early. We're concerned about Houston tonight.
Thanks, Greg, for joining us. Greg?
All right, Jim.
I think Bob Hill made exactly the right decision, the only one he could possibly make. In fact, the players were consulted as to what to do. The key players on the Spurs team, and they all concurred in advance that Dennis Rodman should not start the game.
Dennis Rodman has 9 rebounds in this start here tonight in an illegal defense call against the Houston Rockets.
Olajuwon laying back in, got caught, so they get a new 24. Defensively, the Rockets have been pretty good up to this state. Now they're going to have to really pick up their intensity on the pick and roll. Avery Johnson trying to set this up with Dennis Rodman right now.
Spurs by 2. Johnson to Elliott. And Rodman with another rebound. That's 10. Houston fans want a foul call. And the whistle blows as El Negro moves toward the basket. The foul is on Mario Ellie. That's 3.
Hakeem Olajuwon having a terrific defensive game. Goes to the ground here, loses his balance, something you rarely see. Another indication of just how talented Dennis Rodman can be.
Robert Horry into the game, replaces Mario Ellie, who goes to the bench with 3 personals.
If you're San Antonio, you got to feel good about your position up to David Robinson, really yet to get cooking in this ball game, and Dennis Rodman is giving you a lot of extra possessions, and this guy is reading the pick and roll as well as he has all series.
Avery Johnson gives San Antonio a 4-point lead. 5:25 to play in the first half, and there's an illegal defense call against San Antonio.
Again,
This is Avery Johnson, and look, he's reading the defense the entire way, waiting for somebody to come. If you don't come, I'm going to take it in. A little sweeping hook right off the sweet spot.
that's a terrible shot until it goes in.
Drexler blocked and a goaltend. David Robinson very upset at this call. He's talking to Paul Mahalik, saying that they got to the ball first before it hit the glass. Mahalik doesn't buy it, and that breaks a 9-point San Antonio run. Spurs 34, Rockets 32. Another pick and roll.
One thing San Antonio wants to do.
Rebound Charles Jones. Cassell gonna take the 3. Way long.
Terrible shot.
Didn't hit anything, so the shot clock is still working.
Drexler. And here comes Del Negro and the Spurs. Batted from behind and out of bounds by Cassell. Four and a half to play, first half. Spurs with the ball and a 2-point lead. Del Negro. And Horry with a rebound.
San Antonio wants to occupy Hakeem when he is matched up with Rodman. They went away from him that time.
Horry had Avery Johnson just too quick with his shot. That should have been a hoop.
Houston's trying to take too much of an advantage on the post-ups, the mismatches.
Robinson. Off the feed from Avery Johnson.
Nice trailing hoop for David Robinson, who's trying to find some ways to get into it at the offensive end. Turnovers have hurt Houston here in the second quarter.
That is an offensive foul on Robinson. Horry took the charge. Personal number 2 on David Robinson.
That was a solid outlet by Rodman to get this fast break going, but Avery Johnson doesn't attack the hoop enough to force the defender to come to him, and then you lay it back at the last moment.
And there's another illegal defense call on the San Antonio Spurs. That will result in a technical foul and a free throw.
Dennis Rodman, the guilty party on the last one.
The Houston Rockets have to be extremely concerned about their lack of fluid outside shooting.
Drexler hits the technical.
The Rockets are best when they can set people up around the perimeter and have them stationed, feet together, looking at the basket. They haven't been able to do it. When they have to shoot jumpers off the dribble, they're not nearly as effective.
Cassell back outside. Drexler for 3. Cassell fouled by Rodman. And Rodman quick to point out that there is no harm intended.
Sam Cassell comes up laughing, but they're going to call a flagrant foul. 2 shots and the ball. That's Rodman's 3rd foul.
With a flagrant foul.
There's a flagrant foul. You got to make a play on the ball. He makes a play on Sam Cassell's neck. and watch him go up and grab him right there. There's no question that Rodman was not making a play. So this is a costly mistake by Rodman. He's talking to the officials, but this is a correct call.
And now we'll take his case to...
He's saying, hey, this is me. This is the reason that you called it. But if that had been anyone else and you hog-tied the guy, it's going to be a flagrant foul.
Sam Cassell.
It's a chance for multiple points by Houston. The free throws have to be put to bed. Capitalize on this last 3:15 left in the half with Rodman on the bench.
Between these two free throws and the technical with the illegal defense call, this is a three-point swing. Houston still has possession, now trails by one.
Time to go to Hakeem. Time to dump it in, clear the side, let him turn and face.
He does that to the baseline and gets the roll. Houston leads 37-36. Hakeem with 14 tonight.
The scoreboard says that this game is played at a Houston Rocket pace, and San Antonio wants to amp it up. They're going to go to David Robinson against Charles Jones.
There is a power move by David Robinson.
That's what we saw in the second half of Game 5. What the Spurs are hoping David Robinson will do every time for the rest of his career is Olajuwon. The fadeaway, facial.
And David Robinson with the big move. Charles Jones commits his third. The Spurs lead it by one. We're coming back in a moment. Hakeem Olajuwon, 14 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks. And David Robinson, 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 block shot. You say there's still a lot of promise for the Spurs.
Robinson's getting in his rhythm. He's going to finish off this three-point play here. Hakeem has played brilliantly throughout, and they're still behind. The rest of the Rockets, they got to start doing something out there.
Robinson with his first miss of the night from the free throw line.
Trying to pressure the Rockets into making a mistake, and they've done that here in the second quarter, and that's what allowed the Spurs to get back in it. If they take care of the ball,
Olajuwon in and out.
They're in pretty good shape.
Spurs defense is so much more effective tonight than in Game 5.
Robinson in the lane, missed the stop. Rockets with the loose ball. For Olajuwon, a great look by Kenny Smith.
David Robinson never got back down court on defense.
Rockets by 1, a minute 55 to play in the first half.
They got to stay with this matchup. Great feed by David Robinson to Avery Johnson. And Johnson's got 10 in a ball game.
I think the team that goes in behind by 1 will have the edge in the second half.
Why?
Because you'll sit there in halftime and you'll be angry, you'll be mad, you'll come out and you'll be all fired up.
Robert Horry for 3. His third three-pointer of the night. Rockets lead it by 2, 42-40. Del Negro. And Charles Jones with the rebound. Charles Jones in his 12th season out of Albany State.
Team has to be very careful not to pick up his second foul here. Robinson already with 2.
Now, see, they want a post for Sam Cassell, and the shot clock's at 5.
That shot way short. Sean Elliott brings it back, takes the 3, and hit it. The Spurs. That is a 2-pointer, and that ties us at 42 as we come up on a half a minute to play.
Kenny Smith very cautious out there.
Robert Horry. And whistle blows. David Robinson guilty of the foul. We remind you, coming up at halftime, the Prudential Halftime Report. Bob Costas back in New York. We'll be talking with Anthony Hardaway of the Orlando Magic. David Robinson has just drawn his 3rd personal.
David Robinson mystified at the call, and now is going to come down and challenge.
Terry Cummings, number 34, checks in for San Antonio. And for David Robinson.
And that's about as animated as you will see David Robinson.
The long-range jumper looks like Hakeem up over the back. Robinson had the position, but in a big game like this, it's all quickness to the ball. The first one there, that's who the referees give the call to.
He cut his legs from underneath them. What are you talking about, over the back?
David Robinson goes to the bench having scored 8 of the last 12 San Antonio points as Olajuwon hits the free throw.
We'll get another look at the rebound position. Who's there first and who goes underneath?
Well, Hakeem was quicker to the ball, but the position, he was over Robinson's back that time.
18 points for Hakeem Olajuwon. The Rockets lead by 2.
Steve, you obviously never got a defensive rebound.
20 seconds to play. I doubt the Spurs are going to run out the clock here.
They might be going for a three-point shot, but they got J.R. Reed to set the pick and roll and try to set something up for Del Negro.
Del Negro down the lane and drew the foul with 8.2 to play. The foul is on Sam Cassell, and that's his first.
That could have easily been called on Hakeem Olajuwon. He was right in there mixing it up.
They didn't close the corner, and that's the reason that Benny Del Negro was able to get by, and Cassell came in from the rear, but you see more players leading with that foot, and that's what gave Del Negro enough room to get the shot away.
25, Doc Rivers into the Spurs for Avery Johnson, 22.
Doc Rivers onto the floor for Avery Johnson. Now, according to the Bill Walton School of Basketball, you should miss this free throw and go into the locker room trailing by 1.
I'm sticking with that.
You are a weird duck. You know that? Del Negro, in your face, Bill Walton ties it up at 44.
I just know you win in the second half of these games.
Ori for 3. And that'll do it for the first half. They're dead even just as they began. One half down, another half to go. The Rockets and the Spurs are tied at 44.
They want to finish the game too quickly, and the San Antonio Spurs are not going to let them. So the Houston Rockets have to remember what got them here, and they are a patient basketball team, and they shoot much better when they get Olajuwon down on the post and get people spread out on the perimeter.
Same starting 5 for both teams. Kenny Smith for 3.
Houston knows about closing out opponents. They are the defending champions. This will be a monumental task the next 24 minutes.
Sean Elliott, hard off the glass, loose ball, recovered by Elliott.
Rodman kept that ball alive.
Shot clock is at 3. Elliott on the drive, and he'll go to the line.
Rockets foul at 34. Hakeem Olajuwon is second.
Olajuwon, it picks up the personal foul, but the problem that they had is what to do about the double team as Kenny Smith started to come in, backed out, and Olajuwon motioning that Sean Elliott pushed off.
Oh, that never happens in the NBA. Guys coming to the hoop with the lead arm.
8 points for Sean Elliott, 2 personals on Hakeem Olajuwon.
You forget that you used to block shots as well, right? And you used to make the same motion when they call fouls against you.
Elliott hits them both. The Rockets by 1.
Kenny Smith had 1 point in the first half, hit the opening 3 of the second.
Kicks it back out.
They passed up 2 shots, Houston did.
Well, they're trying to get the ball to Olajuwon because he's got Rodman on him.
Shot clock at 2. Ori casts off and hits a 3. His third three-pointer of the night. The Rockets by 4.
It was game 3 when the Rockets had a chance to go up 3-0 and put the lid on the Spurs. The second half killed them with tentative threes.
Avery Johnson by Smith, and he'll go to the line to complete a three-point play.
Now, right now, there's confusion. It's the second time it's happened for Kenny Smith and the Houston Rockets, where to be, and Kenny's too far away to close down the lane, and then compounded by getting a piece of David Robinson on the way to the hoop. So Kenny's the double team guy, but he's got to get in the right spot, and then everyone's got to react to him, and they haven't done it in the first two possessions.
But what a soft foul by Kenny Smith. You can't just touch David Robinson on the arm. You got to keep him from getting that three-point play.
How do you propose when the man is in the air that he's going to be able to really handle it?
Drexler with the shot clock at 6. Robinson with the steal.
I'll show you later.
Avery Johnson down the lane, lost it, out of bounds, belongs to the Spurs. Let's go back to the defensive play by David Robinson.
Floating post-entry pass, just too soft. You got to zip it right into the guy's chin. In case he doesn't catch it, you bop him in the face with it.
How about the guy goes to kick the ball? Huh?
Always the passer's fault.
Avery Johnson across the lane, fouled by Smith. That's 3 on Kenny Smith.
So two quick fouls for Kenny Smith, and Kenny does not agree with this one, but it's the position, and he's reaching that's getting him in trouble, trying to be in a position of making a save, and the officials don't give it to him. His reaction is, how can you miss that?
Avery Johnson's always been left-handed, hasn't he?
Always.
Wouldn't you say there maybe be better off to turn it back to his right hand?
You know, that's the best statement you've made. It's way better than be behind by 1.
Steve, I told you he'd come up with one before the night was over. 51-50 San Antonio.
Dump it into the big guy. Forget the pick and roll stuff.
Olajuwon, open jumper. Not there. And look at David Robinson push it up. And then a bad bounce pass gives it back to Houston. Kenny Smith for 3.
He's shooting him before he gets taken out.
Snapped up and in by Drexler. Rockets by 1. Robinson batted away by Hakeem.
Hakeem on the run.
Ellie down the lane.
Come out and point to Kenny Smith to tell him to get to Avery Johnson earlier.
Dennis Rodman left all alone. A switch wasn't made down low.
That's a confusion. They've had this confusion on every pick and roll situation, and Ori is looking at Kenny Smith, and Kenny's looking back at him. They got to get some communication.
You've got Houston convinced that Rodman can do nothing except rebound.
Olajuwon hits that. Olajuwon with 20, the Rockets by 3, 8:20 to play third quarter.
Rodman has done very little in this second half besides that wide open slam dunk. Terrific defense, Olajuwon.
Avery Johnson pulls up. Ori with the rebound. With the position on Rodman that time.
Hakeem on the run.
Olajuwon. Oh. Timeout Spurs. Hakeem Olajuwon is playing basketball like at no other time in his career. Clyde Drexler has played a long time with Clyde. He even amazes Clyde sometimes.
There have been a couple of plays when I've seen him make moves, and you kind of go, wow, where did he get that one from? Hadn't seen that one in a couple of months. He just seems to keep bringing them out of the bag one after another, and he seems to have a ton of them. I mean, there are endless numbers to his moves, and he works extremely hard. I don't even think he knows what he's going to do half the time. It's just such an instinctive move with him, and he works so hard. He just wants to get to the basket. and he usually finds a way to do it.
You know, it's scary when you don't know what you're going to do.
The good offensive players have no idea. It depends on what the defense does, and Robinson answers right back in his face for the 17th point of his evening.
58-55, Houston.
David Robinson is working his way into this game. Drexler trying to work his way in. Thought he got fouled on the way, but no call.
Rodman corrals the rebound. Avery Johnson on the run.
Ellie had that pass in the lane.
Del Negro. Vinny Del Negro hits the jumper and cuts the Rockets' lead to 1 with 7 minutes to play in the third. Hakeem, fall away, got it. Off Damon Robinson's hands and into the basket.
Now, he had no idea what he was doing that time. He just threw it up instinctively.
24 for Hakeem. Robinson double team. Elliott for 3.
Now the double team is hurting the Rockets because they're not being able to rotate and recover quick enough. They're getting a good entry pass at the basket. They get Avery Johnson to kick it out, and it's 3 points for Sean Elliott.
We are tied at 60. That batted out of bounds by Elliott, who disagrees.
You never ignore the fact that the Spurs were the best road team in the NBA this year. It's a veteran, close group. Was disappointed, but not defeated after Game 5.
No, they were defeated. They were destroyed.
Horry for 3. The 4th of the night for Robert Horry. 63-60. Horry with 15 points. Avery Johnson again to his left. And fouled by Robert Horry.
Houston foul at 25. Robert
The need for
Horry.
additional offense. Robert Horry,
Team foul.
the long stroke. Something he's added since he joined the NBA, and the short line really helps a guy like Horry.
I might add, he was a good step and a half off that short line. Avery Johnson to shoot 2.
Sort of the way Wilt used to line up for his free throws, 3 feet back from the line. I like the way Avery Johnson's penetration, though, used the wrong footwork to confuse the defense to draw that foul.
Avery Johnson on his 3rd tour of duty with the San Antonio Spurs. There have been times in his 7-year career nobody wanted it. Missed them both.
And Drexler with his most rhythmic move of the night on the rebound.
Big-time timing tip for Olajuwon because that ball looked like it might stay in.
Rodman failed to block out.
26 for Hakeem. Del Negro for Robinson. Rodman on the offensive rebound. 10 points for Dennis Rodman. 13 rebounds. Drexler to Hakeem. 2 more.
Whatever Olajuwon prayed for in the intermission, it's coming true for him. He has got the hot hand again, 10 in the quarter, and a nice pass from Drexler.
That's what Clyde's talking about.
And that foul is on Mario Ellie. And for Ellie, that's 4.
Ellie not happy. He has to come out of the game, and Rudy has to go down, send one of the coaches down there and tell him, hey, now is not the time to lose your composure.
Meanwhile, the San Antonio Spurs are not taking advantage at the free throw line.
That was a tough call on Mario Ellie. This is the 6th game in the second half.
I know the half where all that anger and emotion comes out.
That's right.
And we all know the Spurs are in disadvantage because they didn't go in down 1. Coming up on 4.5 to play in the quarter. Rodman goes for the steal. Horry blocked by Elliott. And out of bounds to Houston.
Now, Horry's right. He got hit on the arm, but they don't call a foul Sean Elliott is going to make a great defensive effort. He comes flying and got a piece of him, but no call. 9 on the shot clock.
Cassell pulls up short.
He has no rhythm to shoot that shot. Run up and down the court a few times first. Maybe it was a heat check from the other night.
Del Negro off the baseline. What a shot by Vinny Del Negro. He has 10 tonight. 67-65. Houston, 4 minutes to play in the third quarter.
This pick and roll hurt San Antonio in game 5. See if they get going here with it for the Houston Rockets in game 6.
Avery Johnson to Elliott. Elliott open for 3. And a rebound by Hakeem. Here come the Rockets.
San Antonio's defense is very solid.
We'll wait for Hakeem to get position down low. Across the lane and fouled by Robinson. That's number 4 on the Admiral.
Now David Robinson trying to be aggressive, but he should remember Olajuwon doesn't like this side of the floor as much as he likes the other. He's working the other way and gets a push on the shot attempt. So David picks up his 4th, and now Bob Hill has to make a decision. Who defends Olajuwon, knowing that that ball is going to be going into him quite a bit. By the quarter, Olajuwon picking up the pace.
And that's Hakeem's first miss from the free throw line. He kind of short-armed that one.
Steve, you mentioned the side of the floor. That's one thing that Dave Cowens and Bob Hill are really trying to get, as well as Hank Egan, their assistant coaches, trying to get the Spurs to play the Rockets, force them to that right side of the court where they're not nearly as effective.
Hakeem now 5 out of 6 from the line. 29 points, and the Rockets lead by 3.
Hakeem with just 2 fouls.
Robinson. And on the whistle,
Rockets now 44.
foul is on Olajuwon, and that is 3. We remind you, tomorrow night, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time, Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Final. Shaquille and Penny Hardaway lead the Magic back to Indiana to face Reggie Miller and the Pacers. The Magic lead the series 3 games to 2. Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals tomorrow night at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific here on NBC.
That was an angry and aggressive David Robinson on that last possession to get the foul against Olajuwon, but he too gets 1 or 2, and we got a timeout.
Welcome back to the Summit. The Rockets lead by 2. David Robinson just picked up his 4th foul, and the entire San Antonio bench stood up to holler at Bob Hill, hey, he's got 4 fouls, you got to get him out. Bob Hill finally acknowledged him and said, hey, no, he's staying in. I need him. Now, during that timeout, he directly pointed at Sean Elliott. He says, you've got to help him. You've got to help him. He needs help. But he'll stay in the game. Hannah?
Well, the Rockets have anticipated, obviously, that they would take David Robinson off Hakeem Olajuwon. Now what they want to do is take advantage of the Robinson-Robert Horry matchup. They went Robert Horry to take Robinson out on the perimeter. Craig?
All right, Hannah, Jim K. Smith with a jumper right off the bat. Robinson still in the game, grabs the rebound.
And he's playing Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem looked at that shot and said, what's going on here?
Sean Elliott. Rodman follows.
Now Rodman threw Horry on the ground, and Bill Oakes, the official, is looking at Paul Mahalican saying that was his call, but that's how Rodman got that hoop. Tied the ball game up.
You cannot force the fouls on Robinson right now.
Shot clock at 7.
Now, how does Drexler's got to look to get going, though, whether you can force the fouls or not.
At 2, and Olajuwon hits it.
Hakeem bails them out, but they're playing right into San Antonio's hands and strength right now.
Rockets by 2, coming up on 2 minutes to play in the quarter. Elliott to Robinson. Baseline.
Great block out by Horry.
Cassell chases it down. Cassell. What a shot by Sam Cassell. Rockets by 4.
Now we know we're in the playoffs.
Tapped out of bounds by Kenny Smith. We talked in Game 5 about how tough Sam Cassell can be.
Well, that's what the playoffs are. Who wants it the most? And Cassell wanted that hoop and was not going to be denied. 11 on the shot clock.
He had 6 players on the court there. That's a technical foul.
David Robinson goes to the sideline. Terry Cummings is in. Avery Johnson out of the corner. Got it.
Avery Johnson.
Rockets 72. Spurs 70. Hakeem with the jump hook. Over Terry Cummings. 33 for Hakeem Olajuwon.
15 in the quarter, and he's in the zone right now. And they got to wear that matchup out over the final minute to see if they can build a lead going into the fourth.
Hakeem's got to be wary that he has 3 fouls.
Johnson. Oh, what a move by Avery Johnson.
Crossover back the other way, but Kenny Smith's got to get to him and direct him the way he wants him to go, and he's not, so he's letting Avery Johnson dictate the terms on how he's going to defend.
Kenny Smith for 3 off the mark. Drexler had it, lost it, saved by Olajuwon. New 24 for the Rockets. Half a minute to play in the quarter. Kenny Smith drives. Spurs will hold for the last shot of the quarter. And the Houston fans are feeling it. And a blocking foul called on Sam Cassell. That's number 2 on Cassell. It stops the clock with 5 seconds to play.
Kenny Smith was not to be denied the last offensive possession for Houston. Just put his head down, knowing Robinson's out of the game. You take that extra step. The big man not there to block, an easy layup.
Avery Johnson having another big game, and he's giving David Robinson some huge help in a balanced attack. He's got 17, got his first free throw to go in, and free throws are his Achilles heel. He struggles at the line, particularly under pressure.
Avery Johnson shooting 64% coming into this game in the playoffs. Missed the second. Terry Cummings with a follow and a big basket for the Spurs. 3.4 to play in the quarter. Sal fouled in the backcourt.
Rudy Tomjanovich takes Hakeem Olajuwon out to give him a foul, not allow him to pick up his 4th foul, and then the Rocket teammates just let Terry Cummings pull his way to the hoop. You can't give up offensive rebounds on missed free throws.
Horry's lob taken away by Terry Cummings, and that'll do it for the quarter. We've played 3 with 1 to go at the Summit in Houston. The Rockets 76, San Antonio 75. Welcome back to the Summit in Houston. We begin the 4th quarter with Houston leading by 1, and our guest celebrity cameraman, Donald Trump. Don, welcome to the telecast.
How you doing, folks?
Fine, thank you. You know, we must be paying our cameraman a pretty penny.
You're paying a lot of money. It's a great job.
Thanks for being with us, Don.
Thank you. Great game. Have a good time.
Hakeem Olajuwon, 33 points, 13 rebounds. Bill, how would you do against him?
Hakeem's a lot better player than when I used to play against him. You have to anticipate his moves. He loves to fake one way and come back the other, get in his face, make him shoot fadeaways, and make him pump fake a lot. But I think where Hakeem Olajuwon is right now in a historical sense, as Chuck Person drills his first shot, is that Olajuwon has joined the super elite players here. The Chamberlains, the Jabbars, the Russells, the Jordans, everyone. This guy is at another level that few have ever played at before.
Kenny Smith all alone top of the key for three and missed it. Horry. Did he call timeout? He did. Before he came down out of bounds, he called a 20-second timeout. That stops the clock with 11:19 to play. The Spurs lead it by 1.
I think he's like Jordan. You double team him and you force somebody else to beat you. You make Kenny Smith beat you, or anybody right now.
Oh, so in other words, you'd ask for help.
I'd front him and try to deny him possession of the ball.
Cassell to Drexler, got the basket and the foul. Foul is on Chuck Person.
Drexler hasn't had really many opportunities here in the ball game. He starts the fourth quarter off with a big play and see if he can complete the three-point play.
Drexler with 12 on the night. The Rockets by 2. 11:05 to play in regulation.
The Rockets need that solid offense from someone besides Hakeem. Nobody's in their rhythm yet.
Double team on Robinson and fouled in the lane.
Olajuwon is going to say he got the foul, or it was on the pass off. They give it to Robert Horry.
That's 3 on Horry.
On the side.
So Horry gets back in the ball game. Mario Elie gets back in the ball game, and they go back to their small front line.
Dennis Rodman on the bench for San Antonio. Robinson in the lane. Rebound, Drexler.
Drexler rising to the fourth quarter. He's been in the finals twice before. Denied both times.
Cassell.
That's a terrible shot.
And the Rockets get a break. Olajuwon has it bounced right to it. Horry. Pass the three. Drop.
Robert Horry with the pump fake, and David Robinson there late.
This foul from the underneath man.
But they give the foul to Chuck Person, and David Robinson has to feel relieved, but he's going to have a tough time dealing with Robert Horry out on the perimeter.
Now Hakeem is doing some smart things, standing back on the defensive end, knowing they're just going to take him out of the offensive rebounds for free throws. Rodman coming back.
Rodman ready to come onto the floor. Missed free throw. Loose ball picked off by Drexler. And tries to call a timeout. Too late. Jump ball.
That's a huge effort by Drexler to get to the ball after the miss. And jump ball between Sean Elliott and Drexler, but the crowd is sensing right now this is an important stretch for their team, the Rockets, and if they can bust it open to an 8 or a 10-point lead, that might be enough.
San Antonio's really having difficulty making their substitutions. The last time they left 6 guys in the court, the referees ignored it. That's an automatic technical.
Well, if you're going to be picky.
Shaq says there's 8 guys on that Indiana team.
Trying to go pick and roll.
Olajuwon, that's off the mark. Doc Rivers with the ball. Avery Johnson will push it. 81-77 Rockets. Pass. Drexler comes back. To Cassell. So much time remaining. 9:48. David Robinson with 5 personal fouls. This was his 5th.
This is a phantom call here. Sam Cassell, little herky-jerky body movement, just drew that foul.
83-77 Rockets with their biggest lead. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, Greg, Bob Hill just told his team this game is all about heart. We should have the heart. We've met all of our goals all year long. Let's not take this test right now and end it. We've met them all. We still have the heart. When Rodman gets back into the game, when Robinson comes back into the game, Dennis Rodman is going to drop off and help him, and Robinson should just be out here for a minute or two and should be back. Greg?
All right, Jim. 84-77. Rockets in the lead.
Right now, the Rockets have got to find ways to produce points, and they don't have Robinson as a focal point. I mean, they got to come through Sean Elliott.
This is where Rodman, though, has to take control of this game.
How?
Terry Cummings fakes, double pumps, around and out. Drexler with the rebound, fouled by Rodman. Let's go back again to what was whistled as David Robinson's 5th personal of the night.
Robinson is unable to stop and really get out of the way. Gets the body, gets all of the body. No herky-jerky there. He got smashed.
That's not a foul. You must have been a guard. You don't put a guy like, you don't put the MVP with his 5th foul with 9 minutes to go in the 4th.
Terry Cummings with a terrific defensive play on Hakeem.
Robinson let him go that time.
And a whistle blows up top. The foul is on Mario Elliott. That's number 5 on Elliott.
Look at Rudy. Rudy saying, please, don't give us the technical. I mean, he laid down, but he wasn't trying to show you up. Just stay with us, you know. So they avoid getting hit with the tee. Kenny Smith coming back in the game. Elliott not able to get into this one at all, and he's not happy.
5 fouls on Elliott. That's key, because Rudy's basically got a 6-man rotation.
9 minutes, less than 9 now to play in the game, and there's a throwaway.
Remember Bob Hill's pass. It said composure, and they're at a state where they need all of their composure, trying to set up a pick and roll.
And before the shot, Elliott guilty of the foul on Clyde Drexler.
Houston on a roll behind the inspired play of Clyde Drexler in the 4th quarter here. 8-0. As of this moment, Drexler with an opportunity to make it 10, but he is determined to work his way back into a fluid groove.
You look up there, and what the story is fouls. It's fouls and penalty. The Spurs have 5 team fouls. The Houston Rockets have 2. The Rockets can certainly be more aggressive at the defensive end, and they've got to drive that ball to the basket. It gets them to the line. Clyde missed them both.
And Drexler over the line. Lane violation against the Rockets and Clyde Drexler. So San Antonio gets the ball. Bob Hill wants timeout. Houston basketball fans getting a little excited. Their Rockets lead it 84-77, 8 minutes, 42 seconds to play in regulation. The Rockets lead the Spurs 3 games to 2. Hakeem Olajuwon and Dennis Rodman.
The name of this game for the San Antonio Spurs is score point. They got to figure out a way to get the ball in the basket with David Robinson on the floor. Avery Johnson has been good when he's using the pick and roll, but Robinson's not there to set it up.
Elliott on the drive. That's before the shot. The foul is on Drexler. That's number 2 on Drexler. For the Spurs, the big challenge will be at the defensive end, and particularly Terry Cummings, who will now have to guard Hakeem, and you know that's where the Rockets will go.
But that often works against the team. You try to take advantage of a mismatch, you get out of your rhythm. I think the Spurs are getting killed offensively. They only have 77 points.
Elliott on the drive again.
22, Clyde Drexler, his 3rd.
Jim Gray tells us from the San Antonio bench that Sean Elliott was told, you've got to pick up your game. He's just driven to the basket twice and drawn a couple of fouls. Drexler now with 3.
And he's gone the opposite way. 99% of the time, Sean Elliott comes strong right hand. He drove baseline both times, but his offensive effort has been down 4 of 11, but he's the best offensive player out on the floor and can make a play for himself.
But why foul? You got Hakeem Olajuwon, who's killing them with block shots. He doesn't have to worry about David Robinson. You want to force the guy to drive.
Elliott hits 2 free throws, 14 on the night. Rockets 84, Spurs 79, 8:15 to play. Olajuwon, and he was fouled up top.
They cleared the floor for Hakeem, high 15 feet. They've been having trouble dumping it in because Cummings is an adept player coming around on the side. Now Hakeem's going to have to get it at the line.
Olajuwon to the free throw line where he is 5 of 6 tonight. 6 of 7. And 34 points.
Now, if it's a mistake to go into this guy the rest of the time, we've missed the point. As his brothers say, get the big fella the ball. He had 15 points in the third quarter alone.
It's how you get it to him. You don't give it to him at the end of the shot clock. You know they're going to collapse. Get it to him early, and then he becomes the passer. I'd give it to Hakeem every time down the court.
Elliott. Sean Elliott with 16.
And what they want Sean Elliott to do is keep them close until he can get David Robinson back in the game. He's responded, but the Rockets should just counter with this right here. Back to Olajuwon.
Fall away. Again. Olajuwon with 37.
Hakeem now has to push himself. Don't relax because you got Cummings on you. You know you're tired, you're fatigued. Make the others quit first. Good double team to Sell.
Sean Elliott.
Elliott is showing some heart right there. That was a tough one to get in. Olajuwon challenge. So we've got 2 big players carrying their team. Olajuwon trying to get it again.
Kenny Smith open, his three-pointer off the mark. Robin has it. Up ahead to Elliott. Too high off the glass, gets his own rebound.
Start double teaming Sean Elliott, make him bring it back, have somebody else beat you.
Elliott. Rejected by Olajuwon.
Now that was a face.
4 blocks for Hakeem. Hakeem. Timeout, San Antonio. 5 personal fouls. He returns with 6:15 to play in regulation. Meanwhile, Hakeem Olajuwon going for the 4th 40-point night for him in this series. Talk about a guy hoisting a team and putting it on his shoulders.
Assuming responsibility, what it's all about. Only the game's greatest players in history have done that. Jabbar, Bird, Magic, Jordan, you name it. Jerry West, Elgin Baylor.
Getting pretty close to gut check time for the San Antonio Spurs, owners of the best record in the league during the regular season. The steal by Drexler. Rockets with the biggest lead of the night, 92-83. Avery Johnson quiets the crowd.
Been a 10-point quarter for the San Antonio Spurs. They got to figure out how to shut down the Houston Rockets, and this guy, he has been sizzling.
Hakeem's going to turn and face Robinson, go to the hoop with the jump hook shot.
Cassell, loose ball back out to Elliott.
Dump it inside. And get out of his way.
Double team. Doc Rivers takes it away. And the foul on Olajuwon. That's 4 on Hakeem.
The double team came quickly. There was no cutters. People standing, spotting up rather than moving. A game like this, you can't see guys who are standing still when you're in the low post with two guys on you. Hakeem, his 4th foul.
Good defense from Doc Rivers.
Rivers knows he's got to make something happen for his team at the defensive end. He took a gamble, and Olajuwon didn't read it.
Doc's first point of the night.
Doc Rivers missed his chance at the NBA championship last year as a member of the Knicks, unable to play with the knee surgery. Back this year, still 2 victories away from the finals.
Rivers hits them both. 92-87. We are under 5 minutes to play.
Again, here comes
That's out of bounds to San Antonio. Again, the double team came quickly, and Olajuwon lost the handle on the pass.
Well, he passed it too low. Drexler was the cutter, and he was there, but the pass was too flat, and they get a turnover. And that's where they're going to hurt him if they can get the cutter going to the basket.
Hakeem never had his hand on the ball. He couldn't get a good pass. He bobbled it on the reception.
Each team 11 turnovers tonight. Triple team on Robinson. Rivers for 3. Doc Rivers hits a 3, and the Rockets lead 92-90. And Rudy Tomjanovich wants time. The Spurs have scored 7 straight points. Robert Horry scoops it. Bad shot. Rodman lost it out of bounds.
Now they were trying to get the ball into Olajuwon, and Horry didn't have the angle, so he decided to go on his own. And now Rodman's saying the ball didn't hit the rim.
Yes, it did. That's how it came straight down like that.
It hit the rim, and that's what Bill Oakes is saying. Get out of here. It hit the rim.
The interesting thing is that Dennis had the best view of anyone on that.
Now, what the Rockets have to do is move the ball and move their people quicker. They're taking a little bit too long to get set up to make the entry pass, and the defense is reading it. Now they're going to get Doc Rivers off the double team by going to Drexler.
You can't play the clock in this situation.
Drexler for 3, in and out. Rodman has it, lost it. Out of bounds. Houston. Bob Hill is incensed.
Hugh Hollis is going to step in, and they're going to talk it over.
And they've changed it.
Drexler hasn't had any luck in the 4th quarter with these during this series. A lot of in and outs. Rodman has it. It goes off of the leg of Robert Horry. Bob Hill happy to see the call reversed.
I'd have to see that one again. You must have a lot better eyes than I have.
I've always had better eyes.
3.5 to play in regulation. Batted away from Robinson. Rivers baseline pull-up. Doc Rivers has tied it at 92.
7 straight points for Doc Rivers.
Houston way too conservative. You got to play attacking ball throughout. Never think about the clock.
Mario Elie had it blocked. Robert Horry for 3. And the Spurs have the ball.
San Antonio is taking Hakeem out of the offense. They're double and tripling him immediately.
Robinson. Out of bounds. Loose ball foul. Sam Cassell. That's 3 on Cassell. Sam Cassell adamant.
Right. He's saying he's out of bounds.
One of the knocks on David Robinson has been not going to the hoop with strength.
David Robinson went with strength, but he also pushed Sam Cassell out of the way, but the call goes against Sam Cassell.
Now, that wasn't a foul either.
That's what just
Meanwhile, San Antonio has grabbed the lead, second free throw. So it's the Spurs by 1 with 2:40 to play.
Now they're walking it up. They're going to get there too late on the shot clock. They're going one-on-one with Drexler in the post.
Across the lane, and Rivers fouled him.
Now, Doc Rivers had been the hero of the comeback, getting it started at the defensive end, but they isolated Drexler, and Doc Rivers trying to push him out all the way, got caught. Clyde was going to overpower in that instant.
Drexler, solid game, 14 points, 10 boards, 6 assists.
Drexler now 3 out of 5 from the line tonight. We are tied at 93.
Drexler, one of the NBA's active career leaders in triple doubles. He's got 18 over his illustrious career.
Hits both free throws. Houston by 1. 2.5 to play. Robinson in the lane. Doesn't fall. Horry with the rebound. And timeout called by the Rockets. San Antonio fighting to stay alive and force a Game 7 at the Alamo Dome Saturday afternoon.
Hakeem in the isolation.
They go down low to Drexler. Double team. Horry for 3. 6 3-pointers for Robert Horry tonight. And 20 points. Rivers. A minute 40 to play.
Now, if they come back with the same play because they know Drexler's going to get double teamed or he's going to slide over. That's what they set up the last time out of the break. Drexler down on the post.
Shot clock. 3-second violation.
Either way, it was going to be a turnover for the Houston Rockets. Here's Robert Horry with his 6th 3-pointer of the night. He has 20 points tonight.
They got it set up that time the way they wanted, but the next time San Antonio responded. They're going to come back to David Robinson on the swing.
And the cross screen. David Robinson's got to shoot the ball.
Rodman dumps and fouled by, looks like Hakeem.
Looked like Drexler got him from the rear.
It's incredible. San Antonio, one of the league's best offensive teams, their signal for this cross screen takes the ball off the dribble for Avery Johnson. He's got to put the X up with the forearms.
David Robinson just 7 points in the second half. Still 7.
Rudy Tomjanovich telling Sam Cassell, run it down, but the first thing they got to do if Robinson misses is make sure they get the ball.
He missed them both. 1 minute to play. Drexler, and Rodman has the ball. Robinson to the baseline. Back up top, threw it away. Cassell fouled at midcourt. And the Rockets can smell it.
This game is far from over in the first place, but this reminds me so much of the year that Barkley wins the MVP and then has to go up against Jordan in the finals.
Charles Barkley and David Robinson, the only MVPs without an NBA championship. Del Negro casts off, misses. Rodman follows and hits.
Now that's what Houston didn't want. They wanted to get that rebound. Now they want to use all of the time on the clock. Doc Rivers knows that he's got to try to make a steal, come up with a big play.
They can go all the way to that 1 second and then just launch it in the air toward the basket.
Rodman fouled at center court. Fouls Robert Horry. That's 5 on Dennis Rodman. It stops the clock with 13 seconds to play.
Sam Cassell feels like he let his team down with the missed free throw, but they still got a 3-point advantage. But Horry, who's been huge today from deep, wants his one of these free throws.
Robert Horry, 20 points tonight, 0 for 1 from the line, 6 for 11 in three-pointers. And there's a big one. The Spurs with just a 20-second timeout remaining. 13 seconds on the clock.